Thanks for listening to the AC12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Code 15 off 20, 15% off any $20 or more purchase. Code LCFREECC, free crazy combo with pizza purchase. All right, we have got a lot to get to this show. All right, Cody, go ahead and put our pretty faces there on the screen. Okay, now we are now joined by the conquering king, Mr. Ben One White. We are very, very happy to see Ben One White. Hello, Ben One White.
Hello, Mike Luke. Football season is here, my friend.
Yep, now and joined by the Oracle, the wizard, Mr. William Brad Alice. Hello, William Brad Alice.
I guess when you get a white beard like mine, you become the wizard. So
yes, well, yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot to. You know what? I heard a term one time and said when I got old, it hung like the sleeve of a wizard, and well, it's something else. But all right, we've got a lot to get to this show. Arizona wins 40-6. We're going to talk defense. We're going to talk a bunch of different things. But guys, at the end of the day, I said it, and again, I know I'm fairly simple with this. I wanted Arizona to just beat the snot out of Hawaii. And, you know, early on, it's like, all right, is this going to be one of these, like, crappy, like, 24-16 games or something like that? And Ben One White, they went out there and they beat the snot out of them.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted them to do. And look, week one, you're only going to know so much. But just as an Arizona fan, going through what you did last year, it's just a big relief, right? Because you look at what they did today, and on the offensive side, there's clearly an identity. There's clearly a plan, and you can tell the coaching staff obviously has made a point to clean up a lot of things that just didn't go well last year. And we've talked about it, and just simple things like getting Fafita out of the pocket, you know, getting the ball out quickly. Certainly not a perfect game by Arizona by any means, but for what you're looking for in this week one, you checked a lot of boxes. Granted, I don't know how much it's going to tell you come 2 weeks when you play Kansas State, but, you know, just starting off the bat, a refreshing way to see how Arizona played today.
And Brad, for a football school, we have high expectations, and they showed that in that first one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they looked good. I thought they looked solid. They did what I wanted them to do, even if it wasn't, you know, you'd obviously love a lopsided score like Texas Tech had today, but Hawaii's solid. So to go in and kind of dominate in almost every facet of the game, and, you know, would I feel better if they held them to 6 points and didn't need a couple red zone turnovers? Yeah. Would I have felt better if Hawaii didn't kind of run on them until they kind of ran out of time to run anymore? Yeah. But overall, what did I see? I saw an offensive identity. I saw schemes that for the most part fit Noah's skill set. I thought the offensive line looked good. Maybe not great, but good. And I like what I saw on defense. The defensive line is still a concern, but man, those guys fly around. They hit hard. There's, you know, when you get one guy wrapping up, 5 other guys are coming into the play. So there's a lot to build on. And if Arizona can, when they get a couple more guys healthy, you know, next week's probably going to be ugly. And frankly, Kansas State doesn't look very good right now.
Right.
Arizona, if they can continue to build on what they did tonight, is going to be at the very least an interesting team, which, you know, we couldn't say for a lot of last year.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got our first super snap coming in here. Everybody, bring us your tired, huddled, hungry super snaps. Did anyone see the KSU score? Cats will beat them very, very well. We are going to get to that one. Cats have a good chance there. Also, John Taylor. Can we talk about Malachi Bailey? He's scary, fast, and red lines. Yes, we got a lot to get to on that one. You know, Brad, I think hit the nail on the head. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back to these comments here. Okay. Brad, I think hit the nail on the head there, Ben One White, in that I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this defense unfolds. But I'll tell you one thing. Right now, they do fly around. 5 sacks, a lot of tackles for loss. Overall, it was a very, very impressive performance by this team. And they hit hard as well. That was the other thing. They hit really hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of speed there, right, that I don't think you quite saw last year in the secondary. I mean, obviously Smith is your best player back there, and he was flying around, but Arizona just looked like they knew what they needed to do and where they needed to be. And I mean, you saw that with the interceptions, you saw that with the turnovers. Defensive line is still a big question for me. There were times where when Arizona would drop back in coverage, you worried about that defensive line. But if the secondary plays the way they did today, I mean, in the big picture of things, it's not going to be a huge issue. But yeah, I thought all things considered with what you're given and all the new players you have, the defense did a pretty good job. And you don't need an A-plus defense by any means. And I don't think this team is going to be particularly strong defensively when you start playing these Big 12 games. But, you know, it's nice to see a footing. It's nice to see them force some turnovers and just not get pushed around. I mean, because if they get pushed around like last year, it's going to be a long season, and you just hope that they can build on what they did today.
Brad, I was not expecting, and I'll be honest, I was not expecting to see them flying around. Now, granted, I get that it's Hawaii. Hawaii sucks. I get all that. But even last year against NAU, when we're watching it, and it's like, man, Arizona can't get the quarterback there. They couldn't do what they wanted. It's just a breath of fresh air to be able to just sit here and say, man, we just dominated them, and they were flying around. I got to give Danny Gonzalez a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, the negative was that Hawaii was able to run somewhat effectively. But if you really look at it, I think Hawaii, two of their biggest plays, at least before garbage time, were off of not broken tackles, but weird broken tackles. There's that one play to the tight end where, like, he got crunched.
Right.
But they almost hit each other too hard, and he kind of swung around and then almost, like, slingshotted past three other defenders. So if you look at it, again, I don't know. I mean, there are going to be a couple Big 12 teams I think are just going to grind it out on the run against them on the run. I'm turning to you, Mike. I'm making up new phrases.
You're an idiot like me, Brad.
But on the other hand, again, that kind of pursuit, that kind of, you know, Hawaii's not a slow team. They're not, you know, upper echelon D1 speed, but they're not Weber State or NAU either. And right. Arizona flies to the football. I think that is good. I think realistically, Arizona's really going to have to rely on the blitz this year. There was a stretch early in the game where I felt like every time they blitzed, they got to the quarterback, whether they knocked him down or they actually sacked him. They're going to have to be creative with the blitz. Danny Gonzalez is going to have to do a good job, you know, channeling his inner Spags. If you're a Chiefs fan, this is the drinking game. His inner, I don't even know who the DC at Philadelphia is, but guys with those creative blitz schemes where you're bringing guys from all over the place. I think Arizona's going to have to do that. But that being said, the defense just, again, they give up 30-something. And I get it. Devin Dampier is a pretty darn good quarterback. They give up 30-something to a pretty mediocre New Mexico team last year. Right. And so I think the defense is better. Again, are few teams in this league going to just grind it out on the ground? Yes, they are. But I think Arizona is going to be competent with their pass rush, and I think they're a good tackling team overall.
Okay, now the food, I didn't even eat. I didn't eat the food in the press box. It looked terrible, so I wasn't going to eat it. I am going to be down with the common folks, the unwashed, for the next game. Well, actually, no, I'm going to be at the watch party, but after that. Okay, now we got to get to a couple super snaps here. Super snaps, baby. Yeah, pay us. Okay, Jodas, did anyone see the KSU score? Very much appreciate that. John Taylor, yours. Dennis Walsh, undefeated in no lay games. Dennis Walsh believes that the lay is Dennis Walsh is very upset about the lay. Okay, now, Stutcho, does this mean that does this win say more about Arizona or less for Hawaii? I think it says both. We're going to talk about that. TJ Van Martyr, is Craig running back number one? That performance surprised me. Yes, yeah, that was very, very impressive. Let's see. My guy Heiko as well. All right. Put it towards a new sound system in the stadium. I will donate the labor. He would definitely be able to do that. Gringo Billy, football school, baby. Noah, LJ Wombology. Noah can be cleaner, but that rushing TD was slick. And Stutcho, after that game, Stanford must be horrible. No, yeah, Stanford's awful. Let's talk about that running game here for a second. When Arizona's been really good in the past, they've generally had good running backs, and they've had a committee of running backs. I like Kendrick Reesano a lot. But man, I'll tell you what, this one, Quincy Craig really stole the show, and Alonzo Carter was talking about him and basically was talking about him all off season and about how this guy was going to be really, really good for what they wanted to do. And guys, I mean, he runs tough, he runs hard, and it's exciting there, Ben One White.
Arizona's always been very fortunate, the last decade or so, having a good committee of guys. And I think what makes it so good, right, is all these different guys are a little bit different. Craig had some really good opportunities today. I mean, you got to give it to the offensive line. I mean, those blocks they were creating for him, just fast, sees the hole, gets right through it. Richino, to your point, a little bit bigger guy, kind of like a Jonah Coleman in a way, who can get in between the tackles. But yeah, I mean, Arizona's going to have a stable running game because you're going to have to be able to move the chains, take pressure off Fafita. You can't find yourself in a situation like you were last year where you're always down by big and Fafita's having to throw it 35, 40 times a game. We just know that's not sustainable. So very impressed with the run game. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Granted, that 125 yards for Craig, I think more than half of that was that big run, right? So always room for improvement. But I mean, so far, so good. I thought the offense clearly had a plan, like we talked about at the beginning. Run the ball, RPO, get the ball out quickly. Fafita did look a little bit more comfortable as the game went on, especially with some of those deeper passes. I think the passes, throughout the middle and the intermediate stuff was a little bit concerning at the beginning of the game and even bleeding into the third quarter there, where he just looked a little bit rattled, kind of threw the ball either too high or too quick. But you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's game one, a new offensive scheme, a new offensive coordinator. I think he'll figure it out, but it's just nice to see this offense has a flow. They have a plan, and I think this coaching staff knows exactly what type of quarterback Fafita is, and they're going to play to his strengths. They're going to roll him out. They're going to have him get the ball out quickly, where you didn't see any of that last year.
Would you? All right, now we got the. Go ahead there, Brad. And I got a question.
I mean, to me, Richino looks more like your every down back. But Craig is a guy I want to use as that home run back, and that means in a weird way. And he's not quite. He's pretty fast. He's kind of might be the guy we thought Speedy might be last year, and
Speedy
that is
game, by the way, today.
He did, but he was awful the first game for Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 1.5 yards a touch. But with Craig, I want to see him get some carries up the middle, but I also want to see them find him on swing passes, on screens, sweeps, things like that to take advantage of his speed. And to be honest, I thought Mahdi looked solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think a lot like, it's ironic they kept bringing up Tomey tonight, obviously with the Hawaii connections, but you look at Tomey's best teams, you look at Stoops' best teams, Larry Smith's best teams, they had 3 running backs. You go back to the days of Greathouse and Eldridge and Alonzo Washington and Bates and Sapp and all the way through some of those, Stoops teams where you had, Grigsby and those guys through Kadeem. You have 2 or 3 guys because you're going to get banged up. You're going to get dinged up. You're going to have nights where, one guy doesn't have it, and to have someone you can go to. And again, tonight, I think 3 running backs scored touchdowns, and you added a 4th with Fafita score. I think you had at least 4 rushing touchdowns, but 4 different rushers with touchdowns. And that to me bodes well because all of them came, for the most part, it wasn't garbage time. It's not like a couple of years ago when I think they had 7 guys, including, the 3rd string quarterback. This was 3 guys who are going to get touches more often than not in the first half of football games.
Okay, now we're up to 300 lives. Very, very good stuff here. Okay, now let's get a couple reads in here, and then I want to address something, too, that a lot of people wanted me to ask Mr. Ben One White about, but first, we need to pay a couple bills here. A couple bills. Let's talk bill. What do we got? All right, now, Andre Veras. A lot of people are saying, man, Andre Veras, man, would you guys endorse him? We hung out with him yesterday for his birthday, and guess what? He tried. He tried bribing us with food and drinks and everything. And I said, nice try, Andre. You're not going to do it. But I will highly recommend Longview. Check out Andre. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. Again, we will acknowledge Andre. We will highly recommend Andre. We will not endorse Andre. If you have a young family, get there right now. Right now. Check it out. Okay. Yeah, what else we got? Hey, guys, I can't see you anywhere. Ben One White, William Bright Alice, I don't see you anywhere.
I can see your hat that you're not wearing.
Yeah. It's on my trunk, so I can't. I know where it is, though. It won't be lost. All right, but now you might say to yourself,
as long as you don't have a Kia anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, then I would be lost. Yeah. So Arizona Primary Eye Care, my friends, check it out. August promo. Well, we got one day left. The free La Fonts. We got a new one coming up here. Optical options to fit all budget styles and preferences. Okay, everybody get in there. Everybody get in there and get them filled up. They are fantastic. Cheryl is the best. We see Cheryl in the chat. Seriously, and you know what else too? When you go there, they don't do that thing where they put like like when you're like you're testing like your eye balance or something, and they like try to put an explosion in your eye, and they're always like, oh, it doesn't hurt or anything like that. They don't do any of that explosion stuff there. They just kind of like make you watch this video where you looks like you're on Mars or something. It's fantastic. I like it.
Or when you go to the eye doctor and they give you like 50 lines to read and all these gotcha tests, it's like, come on, man. Like nobody, even with good eye vision, can read that.
They don't do any of that at there because there are Arizona Primary Eye Care. Back the eye, baby. Back the eye. Okay. Now what have we got here? Okay, now let's talk about this. Ben One White. We had a number of people. You're obviously a tight end guru. Sam Olsen caught a touchdown, probably could have had another one. What did you see from the tight end position there?
Well, I think without Burnett, I mean, it's nice to see Olsen step up because a lot of people last year, including ourselves, were kind of scratching our head thinking, is this guy just not very good? Granted, it's Hawaii, but I think Arizona, the area for opportunity for them on the offensive side is just cleaning things up and getting better in the red zone. And you saw Olsen break away. That touchdown was nice. And you would hope that Arizona finds a way to get him involved when Burnett obviously comes back. That'll be a key factor as well. But they're going to need all the help they can get because T-Mac is gone. There's no clear one wide receiver. Obviously, you had Hunter out as well. So, yeah, I mean, the passing game is very much, who's going to be that guy who emerges as your number one, your number two guy. And quite frankly, it may not even happen with this team. You just may see a committee of steady guys and steady performances, and the tight end is going to be right there.
Brad, the tight end is very valuable. And I was telling everybody about how good Sam Olsen would be. John Lee Walker agrees with me on this one, but it feels good to be.
Does he look slimmer to you guys?
Yes, he looked very good.
A little bit.
Yeah, he looks like he trimmed down. He looks more like, well, he kind of looks like McLaughlin build-wise out there. I think the concern with me is it looks like Powell went down, did not return to the game.
Yeah, he was he had, like braces.
Don't know how long he's out for, but he
had like one of those Forrest Gump leg braces on though. I don't never like seeing that.
Yeah, so that could put a damper on our tight end resurgence. Although they have again 4 guys I think they trust when they're all healthy, but if you cut that group in half, that can affect. But the thing I liked is we saw a lot of different receivers make plays tonight.
Right.
My concern is Noah did not look like he had good touch on the ball. I'm hoping he was just amped up.
He was better in the second half. I will say
he was better in the second half. And ironically enough, his best throw was the
one that was dropped.
Kind of half dropped, half knocked away, half pass interference there on that long ball. But in the first half, even his completions, it was ironic. I think on one of the morning shows, they were talking about, I think it was Urban Meyer, talking about how you don't want to throw over the middle with young quarterbacks making their first start. And it almost looked like that. He just overthrew kind of everything. And again, Spivey, I almost called him Griffey, wrong outfielder, made that nice play. Another one of the other guys made a real nice play on an overthrown ball. But if they can settle that down, play to his strengths, I really like the bootlegs. I like some of that stuff. Then I think he'll be fine. But that first half was a little concerned because he looked a little
he looked skittish,
inaccurate, but he wasn't really being pressured that much.
Right. You know what I don't get though too, and I think it's a bad omen. Why is he wearing a hoodie? Everybody like Dennis Walsh gets very upset about the lay. I couldn't possibly care less about the lay. I will say this: why is he wearing like one of those hoodies though? It's not like you're going to put that on over your helmet or something. It just feels like it's something you're going to be able to.
He did it last year too.
Yeah, I don't understand why
he did it last year.
Yeah, Danny Gonzalez was wearing a hoodie too. Did you guys see that?
Oh, right, but I don't have to worry about him getting tackled though.
I think it's just a thing now with especially these guys who play 7-on-7. A lot of them wear the hoodies with no sleeves. Because I've seen it out at some of the high school games. You see guys doing that. Of course, I've also seen multiple players wearing shower caps under their helmets.
That's what Ben White used to do when he was playing for Coach Skirn.
Yeah, I'm
Always.
guessing it. I'm guessing it's an afro hair thing, but looks kind of unusual to me.
All right.
I was
Hoodie with no
always
sleeve.
not that
Yeah,
I
hoodie.
played much, but I was always cut the sleeve off and wear that like a headband.
Yeah, we all know who started that though. Mike's favorite coach over at UNC.
Yeah, I mean, yes, exactly. So we will. I'm out of cat. I'm of cats. Don't get it. I don't know what that means. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, I do want to talk about one thing. Why the fans? I don't want to belabor this too much, and we're going to get to all the super snaps. Very much appreciate you guys. There wasn't many people there. There was probably, I don't know, 25,000 people. I don't know. I know that. What did they announce? What line?
42 is what they
42,
announced.
42, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
The
even-
overhead shot by TNT looked okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was half
I mean,
full. It looked like
The student
about
section
30.
looked good at the start, though.
Yeah.
The student section did.
All right. Well, it wasn't close to 42K either way, but I don't really blame. A lot of people are, and I was talking with somebody, and I said this to them, and they didn't know that I was quoting this from a movie, but I said this at Circle K when on the one on 6th Street. I said, basically, what you're saying is, if they build it, you will come. And then Benwin White has no clue what that's from.
You got me on that one.
Do you know what that's from, William Red Alice?
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, yeah, that's actually a good way of saying it. And I didn't tell anybody else that wasn't my thing. But either way, I think fans are very much after last year. I think there's a lot of scars, a lot of open, a lot of flesh wounds. And I think a lot of people are basically saying, hey, you're going to have to show me. If you show me, then we'll be there. This was a good first step. Again, because last year,
let's be honest. How many good seasons has Arizona had in the last 8 years? One,
Ben,
two.
I thought you said this mic was good. Now it's not good.
Sounds
you
good.
know, I mean, yeah, this is a fan base that needs to see a winning product, I think. And even though I think they've done a good job bringing some of those concession prices down, it's not a cheap outing.
Right.
Now there were some nosebleed tickets in the teens. Because I was looking at tickets on Friday, but overall, it's really hard to shell out $100, $200 to see a bad product.
Right.
I would love it to be the old days where it didn't matter what you. I mean, Stoops averaged 50,000 and didn't go to a bowl game for 4 years.
Right.
But that doesn't happen anymore. This isn't. As much as they're overrated conference, their fans are not the SEC, where you just show up because that's what you do. Lincoln, Nebraska, they haven't been nationally relevant in how long?
Yeah.
They're still putting 80,000 in that stadium. I mean, it's still hard to get a ticket, but that's the culture there. And it's just not. I mean, unfortunately, it's a football school, but it's not necessarily a football community right now. If they start winning games and winning games in entertaining fashion, they will, although Rich Rod didn't draw great, and he should have, because it was an entertaining product, win or lose.
Right. Yeah, Ben, I agree with that. I do think there's something to this, though, where, again, we are a football school. Let's see here. Irish Mike has been refusing to acknowledge this for the longest time. I keep telling him we are a football school. He won't believe it, this or that. But William Brad Alice is right. And Benwin White, you were right as well, even though you didn't say this, but I think you are going to say this, that if you win, people will show up. I think last year, I think people last year are still kind of burnt out by what they saw. But I'm going to say this: good seeing you, David Rosen. Appreciate you. But Seth Dagey is also a breath of fresh air. Let's be honest here. Watching what we watched last year and what we watched this year, this guy looked like Bill Walsh compared to what we watched last year. And it was an offense that it looked like it was trying to score. Now, granted, there were some plays, obviously, that Noah wishes that he had back. But overall, though, it would look like a coach also, and the commentators were talking about this in the second half, that looked like he was going to adapt his play calling to what he has on the field. And I like seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors here. I think going back to the crowd thing, there's just a lot of different things. For one, it's not like these kickoffs are early, and you can't have them early. TV contracts, temperature, quite frankly. So, it's going to be a 5+ hour outing, right? You're going to get there. The game's going to take 3.5 hours. It doesn't help that a large soda is $9. To Brad's point, but I mean, that's just,
you can get the 12 ounce for $3.
Exactly. You can get 3 12 ounces and get more.
I don't get, though. Somebody was tweeting at me that it was like, hold on. I got to see what this was because you guys keep
No,
talking.
it was you could get a 12 ounce for $3 or a 24 ounce for $9.
Yeah, what am I missing here?
Yeah, it was
My
32
guess
for 9. But
honestly, my guess is they just at the last second came up with that value pricing, dropped some of them, and hoping that you don't notice if you're going to buy a big soda.
I mean, that makes no sense.
Some people don't want to double fist, and some people don't want to go back up again.
Yeah, I don't
The
get it.
bigger soda, the 32 came in a souvenir cup. It's like an actual like plastic cup. The 12 ounces come in the crappy paper cups that dissolve after like 10 minutes.
So you're paying for convenience, basically, and they're upcharging you.
Yeah, so you're basically paying. For a cup that won't disintegrate within 10 minutes. Well, I still don't think that helps their point.
But hey, if I have,
Well,
if
it
I'm
depends
taking
on
a
if you
bunch
want the cup or not. Take it home.
But if you're bringing your young family and you need to get some sodas and you can get in and out for $3 a soda, that's not bad.
Yeah, now everybody.
Those kids are going to chug those down or spill them anyways.
Yeah, Cody, don't justify it. Everybody's talking about it. Just don't justify
It's like taking Mike to a game. You know, he's either going to chug it down or he's going to spill it.
Yeah,
well, Mike's spilled stuff in the press box plenty of times.
Many times.
Mike's even had stuff spilled on him sitting media row
Dude,
before.
one time, literally, this guy just spilled like everything on me, and then I was like, "Hey, are you gonna like clean this up or anything?" And then he's like, should I?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And then, like I don't know, it's like the under 8 timeout, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go get you something." Meanwhile, I'm soaked, and I'm like, "Dude, go buzz off, man. You suck." Okay, all right, now I want to talk about the offensive line here a little bit. This is going to be something interesting, but that's called a tease because we have to pay a few more bills. What do we got? Talk to me. All right, Bridge Tech Communications, it's back. We very much like Tony. I like Tony. Tony's one of the coolest people out there. All right, you might say to yourself, "Man, I got a gym, and I'm looking to basically get it out there, let it see the world." You know, like Ben White gallivanting all over the world, looking. Bridge Tech can do that for you. Promotes 100 plus health entities across multiple states. BridgeTechCommunications.com. Check it out. Okay, now they can help you market your gym or health wellness spa, and guess what? 750% average ROI. That is good. Everybody wants that. 750% average ROI. Check it out. Boom. You'll thank me later. Boom. All right, now Aris Dental. I got to be careful about this read now. The championship package. Everybody knows that that was my nickname in high school, the championship package. That
Bruce Pascoe as well.
Yes, Bruce Pascoe as well. By the way, did you know that there's a place called like Hot Dog Bruce's or something?
I saw that earlier. I've never been there. I'd never heard of it in all the years in Tucson.
Did you know that, Brad? There's like something called like Hot Dog Bruce's or something here in Tucson or something.
Never heard of that. No.
Yeah. Well, either way,
but I've heard of Aris Dental.
Yeah, you heard of Aris Dental. Exactly. You work right by there. Either way, ask about the 1997 championship package. You're not going to have to go to like British Victoria, Canada, or whatever that place is, or you're not going to have to go to like Myanmar or anything like that. You can stay here. You don't have to go to one of those waterborne illness countries. You can stay here and you can get the 1997. Boom. You will thank me later. And they only offer necessary treatment. Bruce's Chili Dogs. That's what it's called. Yeah, good call. So also I'm going to get my teeth cleaned there, and I expect that I'll be emerging victorious with my tongue intact. So that's a very exciting part about this. Check it out. ArisDentalTucsonTeeth.com. Okay. Yes. Our defense gave Hawaii the championship package tonight. Very, very true. Okay. Now the offensive line to me is going to be, it's hard to really, how do I put this? It's hard to really tell with the offensive line against a team like Hawaii, but we're going to find out. And the other thing, too, and Mr. Tyler Warden, a couple other people mentioned this as well. Arizona was down a lot of starters today, especially on the offensive side. Chris Hudson's going to be a starter. Chris Hunter is going to be a starter. Rhino most likely is going to be a starter as well. And so Arizona was out, but the offensive line, what were your guys' first, when you got a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, what were you guys thinking?
I thought all things considered, it was fine. Especially there to Brad's point earlier. I mean, how many of those really because of good blocking on the offensive line? I mean, they opened up holes and they made things a lot easier for Arizona's offense from the get-go just to move things. And that's all you can ask. I mean, to me, it comes down to two things for this line this year. Health. Can you stay healthy, keep your top guys intact, and just not getting beat every single play? I think the coaching staff understands a little bit more as to what they have from a personnel standpoint, where you're going to roll Fafita out, you're going to get the ball out quickly, you're going to do some designed runs to the outside and all that kind of stuff. But all things considered, it's week 1. It's Hawaii. They didn't get pushed around. They created some good holes for Arizona's running game. I would have liked to seen a little bit more stability there, but big picture wise, you can't really complain about anything. Obviously last year they smacked New Mexico on the scoreboard, but I felt like watching that game at this time last year, the O-line was getting pushed around. I mean, on both sides of the ball, quite frankly. So to me, I mean, it's a wait and see type thing. And what they saw you today, I don't think you can have any complaints about.
Yeah. Now, Andrew Gilbert says, "How come we never subbed Tui Tama in?" Well, I don't know. He granted eligibility about 20 years ago, but otherwise, it might not be the worst choice in the world. But Brad, offensive line, what did you see? You coached a little bit, especially at Choya, Choya freshman coach. Great.
Yeah, I thought the offensive line was fine. Were they great? No. Were they dominant at times? But for the most part, they were better than competent. They did some.
Just don't suck.
No, I mean there was a couple times the right tackle got beat once or twice, kind of bad. But for the most part, Fafita wasn't running for his life. They on the Craig run, that was some great blocking with some pulls. There was some good scheme stuff that I liked. I thought they did a very good job. This is what I wanted to see, with wide splits so Fafita could throw between them. So again, I don't know if they're going to be good, but at this time last year, we were already wondering if they were going to be bad. And we don't. And that's kind of where I am with almost everything. Well, they don't look bad.
Right.
They may not be great. They may not even be good, but they looked improved. And I thought almost at every position, everything looked better.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is the defensive line, because I thought there were times they got pushed around a little bit. But overall, much like the offensive line, there's no time to push the panic button. I think there were a few things we were really worried after the New Mexico. They put up 60 something, and it felt like it was a lot of that was just T-Mac being the best player on the field.
Right. Now, the defense, though, we got to give them a ton of flowers. Like you said, there were some times when it felt like they got pushed around a little bit, but overall, they were pretty much flying. I mean, you had 5 sacks. You had, multiple guys in there as well. I think, 5 different players recorded like at least a half sack. Yeah. That's obvious.
11 Arizona players had at least a half sack for loss tonight. That's really good.
I mean, that's really, really good. And you felt it, though, too. It wasn't one of those things like where you looked up and you're like, oh, we have like 6 sacks, and I have no clue where any of that came from. Danny Gonzalez said, it's my job. He said, not necessarily even from the defensive line position, but from all over, to be able to get after the quarterback. And they showed some of that. Again, is this going to be sustainable? We'll find out. But this was better than what I saw last year.
And I don't. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, in many ways, the defense was a big play defense tonight. Obviously, 5, 6 sacks, 5 turnovers, some big hits that caused drops. And even when Hawaii was running the ball on them, and they had that one, 6-7 minute drive, they were still, how many third and fourth downs did they have to convert? And granted, you want to get off the field, but it wasn't like they were gashing them. Because last year, Dampier did, and that the offense for 8, for 9, for 7. This was consistently 4, 3, 4. 11 yards, first down, 4, 3. So most of at least the big plays in the first half came off missed tackles. And then in the second half, again, they were rotating guys in now. So overall, yes, the defense, I thought, for performance-wise, B+, A-. Long term, again, I think there's some concerns on the D-line, but man, those DBs fly around, those linebackers fly around. Even the defensive linemen got back downfield to make tackles, be on that pile. So I think, again, are they going to hold many teams to 5 turnovers and 6 points? No, but I think they're going to be a defense that can make some big plays. There might be a lot like that last Fish defense that made big plays when you needed it. If you can get a couple sacks a game, couple turnovers a game, then you're going to be at least in games. And that's what's encouraging to me. There are going to be those nights, especially with some of these Big 12 backs, where they're just going to average 5.5 a carry, and Arizona's going to have trouble getting off the field. But there's not a ton of those right now. A lot of those Big 12 backs that are very good are all in the NFL this year. What are there, like 5 or 6 of them? So I think it's going to be interesting. Again, I'm encouraged by the defense.
Yes. All right. Now, Connor McGrath, the great Connor McGrath. Anyone else on the East Coast wondering and their girlfriend wondering when they're going to go to bed? Nope. AZ12 post game and football season comes first. Very much appreciate you, Connor. I was going to say she'll understand it. She'll understand at a later time. Very much appreciate that. Ben, also what are you going to say there, William Brad Alice?
I was going to say, tell your girlfriend I'm not at the bar. I'm watching, unless you're watching.
You're staying out of trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but at the end of the day, they just look good. We're going to talk about what this means because a lot of people are saying, "Hey, man, could this be a national championship contender?" We'll get to that, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But at the they looked better than I expected. And honestly, though, I think a lot of it too last year was even when Arizona won. Dude, they looked like crap. Like it was against NAU or New Mexico. I remember saying, man, we barely NAU kind of pushed us around. Or
even the Utah game, we weren't impressed.
Yeah. I mean, there just wasn't a ton to be overly enthused by, but
you know what I think it is too, Mike? I think it is coaching, right? I mean, I think Cindy or Andy Lurie make a good point here in the chat where they say containment and tackling fundamentals just look better. The defense looked like they knew where they needed to be. To Brad's point, I think Trey Smith dropped back on a few coverages there and broke up some passes. So, I think guys are all over the place. They're flying all over the field. And if you can force enough turnovers and just not be terrible on third down and have containment, you're going to be okay. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the defense 2 years ago, like Brad was saying. Granted, I think you did have a little bit better quality there on the defensive line, but how much of it was just good, timely defense where you would make a stop when you had to, you would force a turnover. Your red zone defense was really good. And that's what Arizona's going to have to do. And I think the offense is going to put them in a better spot to do so. To me, last year, the offense was the bigger issue. And as a result, the defense was on the field so much where even when you had guys out there who were healthy, you just had no shot because you were worn out with the way the game was flowing. So no, I think the defense is not going to be great by any stretch. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to be one of the worst defenses in Power 4 like they were last year.
All right. Now, I want to talk about the special teams here in a second. Well, let's just talk about it now. Brad, you lost Tyler Loop, and guess what? Hey, everybody hit like and subscribe. You lost Tyler Loop, but guess what? Salgado Medina, also who moonlights as a middle reliever for the Royals. He came in there and again made a couple long kicks. That would be very, very nice if he was able to
52-yarder.
Yeah, 52-yarders, just like me in my prime. He looked good though, guys.
He looked solid. He looked good, pretty good. He's got a strong leg. He seemed accurate. The Arizona had the good return as well. Did not give up a lot in the return game. So, I thought overall special teams looked solid. And he looks like, he may not be Tyler Loop, but it doesn't look like a huge step back.
Are we kicker you? That's a great question by Kobe L. Thiel. Are we kicker you?
Well, they were when back in the day, when they were recruiting Saguaro.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was literally the only kicker that didn't go there. I didn't kick, but now, OC Bodybuilders, $4.99 Super Snap. This is what also happens when we bring in Ben One White. Dude, people are donating just because they get to see Ben One White. $4.99. Very much appreciate you, OC Bodybuilders. But yeah, the kicking looked great. Also, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Jeremiah Patterson. Could we be having a real kick? Who almost broke it to start the game, and I would have probably left the press box had that happened. And then he looked good again. Guys, could we be having a well-rounded special teams?
We should. They should. I grew up in the Larry Smith, Dick Tomey era where special teams was the pride and joy. So it has pained me to see some bad special teams play over the last 15 years or so. But there's really no excuse why you shouldn't have good kickers at Arizona with the state of high school football in the state, with the state of soccer in the state, with the weather.
With the kicker you had last year?
Yeah.
That's a-
Wait, Nick Folk is still in the NFL as an 18-year vet.
Did you see
That's
the thing
true.
is, that's the longest any U of A players ever stayed in the NFL, in the MNFL. Sorry, but
Oh no, we're not going there. I can't do
Okay,
MNFL.
you're gonna
I
do
can do
Ben
MNBA.
and I are on the same page on this one.
no. Ben says MNBA, but he won't say MNFL. This is
I'm
true.
not
Ben?
saying any of them.
Yeah, I'm not doing NFL. No chance.
But you'll say girth though.
I'll say
I'm on the Girth train. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, Mr.
That sounds bad.
Yeah,
Time I use Girth, it sounds
that
bad.
sounds
The
terrible.
Girth train. That sounds like a bad movie
Yeah.
I used to get
Sounds
to
like a
pay for
Steven
college.
Seagal movie or something. The girth train.
I was thinking something else. But
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yours
Now-
is better than mine.
Yeah, now let's see here. Mr. Tyler Warden, there's not a single aspect of tonight that I thought was bad. Yes, exactly. That is where I am. That is where I'm really coming at this. I was.
Let's be honest. Take Dan Pierre off of New Mexico. They're Hawaii's a better team, right? As mediocre. So I mean, Hawaii was a 5-win team last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably. Yeah.
And Arizona was, I think, better overall. But I know they scored 60 something last year, but a lot of that was just T-Mac making plays.
Well, the New Mexico game was just T-Mac.
It was all team.
yeah.
Just throw it up to T-Mac.
They couldn't run the
whereas
ball.
tonight-
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, tonight they had a game plan. They executed the game plan. Was it always pretty? No. There were some times that third quarter was kind of a slog after the initial touchdown. But overall, I thought the performance tonight was better against New Mexico, even though they scored 20 less points against what is probably a better team, and if not, a comparable team.
Right. Okay. Now let's get a couple reads in here. Back the reads, baby. Back the reads. We got reads. Hey, can we do an AC one now that Kobe L. Field's in here? Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the Rock.
You're not doing Sean Connery anymore?
Welcome to the Rock, Trebek. All right, 2 convenient locations. Now, you might say to yourself, there's been a lot of scurrilous rumors that have been pushed forward about Green Valley Decorative Rock, and we have stood here hand to hand, I almost said hand to hand, mouth to mouth. No, that doesn't sound right. We have stood there and we have fought back against them. People know that Green Valley Decorative Rock is not just in Green Valley; it is in Tucson. What do you guys want to guess to where they delivered to? You guys want to guess?
East of Benson, west of Marana, south of Nogales, and north to Oracle.
You know, Ben knew that without even looking at the screen that is right in front of him. That is how talented this young man is. But yeah, they're going to probably deliver anywhere though. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like they'll deliver to like, mouth to mouth. I didn't mean like that. Yeah. Like, I think they'll probably deliver to like, hey, what's the crappiest city in Arizona? Gila Bend?
Yuma, right?
Nah, well, yeah, the worst major city.
Coolidge?
Florence?
Florence?
Nah, I think Gila Bend's the worst. Gila Bend's a total armpit.
Especially now that they don't have that place with the metal dinosaur sculpture.
Yeah. So they probably would if you gave them enough money. So either way, check it out. You will thank me later, though. Green Valley Decorative Rock.
Wait, it's Tempe.
Yeah, Tempe. Duh. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, no, it is. There is one city that's far worse than any other city. I do apologize because I've said this before. It's Colorado City. Colorado City. I don't think they would deliver to Colorado City. I would hope they don't deliver to Colorado City.
If you write a big enough check, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Everybody's got a price. But either way, check it out. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Back to rock. Okay, what do we got? Talk to me. All right. Okay, now, I'm going to say this. Kobe L. Thiel. Ben One White, are you a Gen Zer? You're a Gen Zer, unfortunately. Aren't you?
Barely. Yep. By like a year.
All right. I don't really get the listen, do Gen Zers not value air conditioning?
I've heard the Kobe L. Thiel story. I think that's very much a one-off. I very much value my air conditioning.
Yeah, all right. Well, either way, Kobe L. Thiel's been going around. He's been bragging that he doesn't have an air conditioning in his car. We just think he's crazy. He is. It doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, though, you got to go in there. You got to check out. You got to get an AC. Just get the AC. Help AC out. Phone dying, please. I would much rather have an AC than a phone. But
don't wait for it to go out. Just get it done. If it's old.
Yeah. Now I will say. Now let me ask you this, Ben One White. When it comes to the AC, and you, William Brad Ellis, when Kobe L. Thiel is driving around and he doesn't have the AC in his car, that's not good for his brain, is it? To not have AC in this weather?
I would not think so. No.
Ben White, you would agree?
In fact, apparently his brain has gotten so cooked he's now convinced he has an AC in his car.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how wrong.
And a
he is.
girl with him.
Yeah, a girl with him. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So in his mind, no AC is good. So when you put it that way.
Okay, yeah. Well, either way, small business with big savings. Comfort X HVAC, get in there. And I tell people this all the time. I would actually break my HVAC just to be able to get the free AZ12 purchase that comes with it. That would be very, very good. Boom, check it out. All right, thanks. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Cody, we'll do one more read and then I'll backfill them. Yeah. What do we got? All right, show me the booty. Now, Kobe Thiel, he could just be part of all of these. Let's say you're looking for a house. Let's say you're looking for a home loan, and you're saying, man, Nova Home Loan really, let's see here. Mike, I'm showing my friend this podcast. Give Tay a shout out. Hello, Tay. There you go. Okay, now, Nova AZ loans. Here's the deal. When you get a home loan, are you saying to yourself that you want to have AC in the house at least? If you buy a new house,
you should. If you should get if you don't have AC, if you were like me and purchased a house with a swamp cooler, tell your loan guy, can you add a few grand on there so I can put one in? It's a game changer.
Yeah, all right. Well, either way, yeah, you want to get that. And they will help you out as well. So again, Zach Mooney, get in there. And again, look at that QR code right there. And they have like the biggest building in the city too. It's amazing. They have like this like it's on like Speedway, or is it Speedway? It's like on Speedway in Wilmot or something.
It's like the biggest building like in that entire area. It stands out. Yeah,
anybody that goes into that building, you know that they're important and they can help you out. So again, show me the booty. NovaAZLoans.com, 520-230-5599. Okay, now let's look ahead to the Big 12 here a little bit. I thought ASU looked like poo. I watched a lot of the ASU game, and I'm going to say something here. We've talked about our good pal Tony Gimino before, and generally he just has a lot of a Stud Joe, remind me to get back to that. Tony Gimino generally has a lot of really bad takes, but he said with ASU, he's like, I get they return all these people. He's like, I've been doing this a long time. I've never seen ASU ever string anything together. Wake me when it happens. Guys, they look like poo. They look like something that Foster Plumbing needed to clean out of the toilet when against NAU. They weren't impressive. What did you guys watch? Did you watch anything?
I didn't see any of that game, but that was, my prediction was they come back down to earth a little bit.
You were very right about this.
I don't think they're going to be awful, but I think they're going to be hard pressed to be
7 or 8 wins.
Yeah. To me, the most impressive teams, and I didn't see a lot of the extra games. Iowa State looks good. Texas Tech, and again, they were playing, I think, a school for crippled children, but they were 55-point favorites and covered.
Hey, did I ever tell you about the story when I was doing my capstone and they signed me because they would assign you to high schools, and I got assigned to the Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind, and I got super, super excited because I thought I was going to go watch blind kids play football because I had no clue how they were going to do that. And so I'm getting there and I'm like getting ready. I got like my little notepad and everything. And I went down on the field and I asked the coach who his best blind players were. And he goes, yeah, we don't, the blind kids don't play. It's the deaf kids. And then I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense there, coach. And then I tried to play it off like I knew that, I was just kidding with them or something. But after that, I wasn't nearly as interested. I still did a really, really good job. But, like I said, I thought I was going to watch blind kids play. So that just reminded me of what you were talking about, William Brett Ellis. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Throwing other good teams. Utah looked good. I don't know if UCLA is any good. And West Virginia looked okay, but Kansas State's
they suck.
They don't look great. UCF,
West Virginia killed Robert Morris.
Yeah, West Virginia looked fine again. Cincinnati hung with Nebraska. I don't know is Nebraska good. We don't. Do we know?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Faux Mahomes, I don't think is very good, but.
He doesn't like being called that, even though he goes out of his way to mimic everything he does.
That would be like me saying I don't like being called like faux Jack Black or whatever, and I still look like him a little bit. So
yeah,
I don't know what I look like, but the point is, I think the Big 12 is exactly what we thought it'd be. There's probably 8 or 9 teams who are not much different than each other.
Cody Martin just said I'm dying, Mike. I don't know why he's dying, but yeah, okay, sorry.
He's dying at your story about the blind football
Well,
team.
no, I just asked the guy. I was like, which are your best blind players? And he kind of looked at me and he's like, yeah, we don't have blind players. They're deaf. And I'm like, oh, which are your best deaf players? And then he said, they're all deaf. And then I'm like, oh, well.
But who are the best ones, Coach? Come on.
We were one time when I was in Sacramento, I went into a dispensary with Ben One White was around. And every time I asked this lady a question, she got more and more upset with me. So, all right, either way, that's all right. Either way, Arizona, there's no team in here that I say Arizona cannot beat. That is where I should just stop admitting all this. Okay. Now yeah, probably a good call there. There is not a team out there that I don't give Arizona a chance of beating. This isn't like we're in like the SEC where it's like, all right, well, although maybe we won Alabama this year, but it's not like it's like, oh gosh, well, we're going to lose by 800 points. Arizona could beat all of these teams. All of these teams, I'm saying.
They can also lose to all these teams.
Yeah, they can lose to all of them too. I mean, but heck, that's better than saying and looking at the schedule and saying, well, there's 6 teams that we have no chance of beating. It's much nicer, Ben One White.
It is, and that's the fun of the Big 12. And it was like that last year. It's like that this year. And I think, quite frankly, it's probably going to be like this most years. ASU, when your leading rusher is your quarterback, that's probably an issue against NAU. Just saying. Iowa State, I think, is the best team right now. Kansas State, I wasn't very impressed with, but yeah, we'll see. I think that Kansas State game is going to be closer than people think. I'll say that much.
Let me ask you this, Ben One White and Mr. William One Alice. Let me ask you this. If Arizona beats Kansas State, wouldn't we have a case to say that, man, we deserve to be back in the rankings? If Arizona's 3-0 at that point, don't you have to, when you're a national brand like Arizona, don't you have to put them back in?
Serious question. And I don't know. I haven't looked. Does Kansas State play next week or do they have a bye?
Yeah, no, they play like Army or something, I think.
Okay, so there's a better than that. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you beat 1-win Kansas State and or 2-win, I guess they have. I don't even count that.
Yeah, they play Army.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe depending on who wins and who loses, but you're probably not ranked. No.
Oh yeah, Connor McGrath just put it right there. Why not Arizona? Why not Arizona? I don't get it. All right. Well, either way. Yeah. Somebody just called me Mega Mike.
That's a first.
I was going to say, yeah, you clearly don't know me very well, but I will leave it at that. Okay. Now
I will contribute to the Mike-isms if you want them.
Yeah. Hey, Brad's known me a long time. He can definitely.
Someday I'll tell the Vegas story where I offered you money and you couldn't complete the task.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's probably.
I'll just tell real quick. So Mike likes to do the hypothetical game.
Yeah.
Hey, top 5 quarterbacks in Arizona history, or top 5 redheaded wide receiver. And I said, Mike, I will pay you $20 if you can either do a top whatever that's not sports related or not have a ranking and have just a sports conversation. And 7 minutes later, he was asking like top 5 left-handed shooters in the NBA. And that's like,
yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah. Now people are
don't apologize for who you are, Michael.
Yeah, I'm not going to apologize. What you see is what you get. Boom. Yeah. Okay.
And that's when he became the savant.
Yeah, the savant. Okay. Now Iowa State, is Iowa State the best team in the Big 12? I like that Matt. What's his name? Matt Carson. Not Matt Carson. Matt Campbell. I like Matt Campbell. I just snorted. I also like that Rocco Beck guy. He's really good too. The kid from Phoenix. He had a very good stat line today. He completed 19 of 20 passes. There's only one way that he could have had a better stat line than the 19 of 20, and that's if he had completed the one pass that he didn't. But other than that, he was perfect. Yeah, I know. But I like. I think from what I've seen, at least early on, outside of Arizona. I do think that it's Arizona. Here's what I'm going to say right now. I am laying it down. There's the 3 horsemen of the Big 12. There's Iowa State, Utah, and Arizona. Tell me I'm wrong.
Until proven otherwise, I guess.
Right.
It's week 1.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm making you guys laugh. It's not a
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Yeah. They got the.
I mean, they have a bigger payroll than the Bengals.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Woodman used to always get mad at me. He's like, it's called the Bengals. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. Okay.
Or the Steelers. That's how you would say it.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah. So
He would also go through a 8-paragraph justification for a certain Native American mascot
Oh,
that had
Yeah.
to like go
Yeah.
back to like the Revolutionary War and the history of the Potomac River. And I'm like, if you have to, if you have footnotes on your explanation, maybe it's not an explanation.
just back away from it. Now, I do want to give you a lot of credit on here's something, Mr. William Brad Alice. So again, Brad has done a very good job explaining to me the construction of Tucson, and that it's not his fault, even though he's the. What do you do again, Brad? You're a big.
I do communications. I write emails and newsletters about transportation primarily.
When you got Shelby the job, you were with Marana though at the time.
Correct? I was already out of Marana by then. Actually,
okay, you were already out.
I knew the person who she replaced was leaving.
I got you.
And told her to apply.
I got you.
And then just said,
history.
And then just told some people there who turns out they didn't have anything involved because they moved. So that used to be in the communications department. Now it's part of Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And Shelby basically got on herself, but I told her there was a job opening coming up, and she got it.
Yeah, well, that's very good.
And they love her there. I already hear. So
that's very nice of you, Brad. We very much appreciate that.
So,
okay.
But apparently she knew about it already.
Yeah, well, whatever. She knew
about it. Don't take credit.
That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean you were going to get the job. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see here. All right, now moving forward then a little bit. All right, so I'm going to put there BYU as well. But I'm just telling you, this is what I like being in the Big 12 because these games are fun. We can lose all these games, but at the same time, I also think that we can win all of these games. I'm going to ask you right now, everybody out there, and you got to put it right there, and you've got to actually put it down, and you've got to make your voice heard right now. Is Arizona going bowling this year? I've been steadfast, I have been resolute, and I've withstood the torments of the storm from people telling me that they would not make a bowl. I am saying that Arizona's going to make a bowl. What say you guys?
I think
bowl time, baby.
They do, because to Brad's point earlier, there's probably 8 to 10 teams in this conference that are pretty similar. And with that being said, there's going to be teams that are worse than people realize. And I think Arizona finds a way to steal a game or two to get to 6 wins. I don't know quite what that's going to look like. I don't think it's going to be Iowa State. I think it could potentially be, a Colorado, at Cincinnati. I mean, you have some opportunities here. Arizona doesn't have a impossible schedule. So I think if they stay healthy, I think if the offense finds a way to score, 30, 35 points a game, the defense does just enough, then yeah, I don't see why you can't get to 6 wins.
Brad?
Yeah, I mean, I said when you
said
a couple weeks
before,
ago.
You were on this before, though, William Brad.
Yeah, I thought I have been saying all along. I think between 5 and 7 is probably the most logical. And you asked me, I said I'll take 6. I think the fact that maybe Kansas State is one I was chalking up as a loss. I now think that's a very winnable game. So I think Arizona probably looks like a bowl team. They're going to have to stay healthy. But to Ben's point, if they can average 30 points a game, they're definitely a bowl team.
I've got a major.
I want to average 27, and I think they're feeling pretty good about it.
I've got a major announcement about Mr. William Brad Alice that some people have asked if it's true or not, and we are going to put it down on record here in a second. This is really big. This is really big. We've got to pay a few more bills here. Exactly. I don't want to have to keep asking my parents for quarters under the couch cushion. So let's pay these bills. What do we got? All right, now RJ's Frozen Cactus. Hey, everybody, we are going red hot beer, ice cold, or ice cold.
Little backwards there.
Yeah. Ice cold beer, red hot sports. Okay, now we're gonna have a watch party next week, and it's gonna be for the Weber State game. So I'm not gonna go to the Weber State game. I'm gonna be there sipping back on some of Grandma's old cough medicine, having a pretty good time. All right, yeah. So Frozen Cactus, red hot sports, ice cold beer. They got a massive parking lot. This parking lot is so big that you could literally land a jet or like the Titanic if it was, I don't know if you could even get it in there or not, but if you could, there's enough room for it. Home of the AZ12 watch parties. Check it out. Again, you're going to thank me later on this one. I will be there. We love
RJ's, but correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you get a phone call last year about why are you talking about the parking lot so much?
No, I did, but I mean but they still like
It's obviously aged well, so
they still like part of it. So it's, I get the parking lot's a big deal. So and again, and you can ride share to the game and you can come back because guess what? Your car, that parking lot is so big that the car will be able to be maintained there in the parking lot. Check it out, the parking lot, baby. And Dennis Walsh can fly his jet over and pick people up. Like they were doing in like Black Hawk Down, like when they had that like helicopter that was like, and they're like shooting at him and everything. And he's like dropping down those like ladders for people to come in. That's how I imagine Dennis Walsh doing that as well. So maybe we'll see. Okay. Now, what else we got? Let's see here. Okay. Now, what do we got? Okay. Oh, Baggins.
Dennis Walsh's favorite place.
Yeah. Dennis Walsh. That guy should basically run Baggins at this point. Yeah. Everybody get in. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, William Brett Alice, have you been to Baggins lately?
I mean, not in a week or so, but yeah.
Okay, now everybody needs to go to Baggins. Benwin White. Benwin White lives in the slums of California.
I've been to the one in Phoenix though.
Oh yeah, and Scott.
One time.
Yeah. So Benwin White, he's slumming it in the streets of like Calabasas and stuff like that. So, but they don't have a Baggins there, so it sucks. I don't care how much the property is there. You don't have Baggins. But guess what? If there was one, Benwin White would go in there and say, "Guess what? I'm going to use code AZ12 for 15% off." Plus, it also makes me feel really, really good because it says the Mike Luke discount on there. And generally, I like to tear people down so I can build myself up and look better. This is one of those times I don't have to actually do that, though. It makes me feel better. Everybody go in there. Check it out. All right. Baggins gourmet sandwiches. Okay. All right. We got one more read here. All right. Now, back the pipe. Foster Plumbing. Now, Benwin White, when was the last time you clogged your toilet?
Not clogged the toilet, but my water heater broke 2 weeks ago, so I probably need to call Foster Plumbing.
You should have called Foster Plumbing. Absolutely. Yep. And on top of that, have you guys seen that Deion Sanders has that porta potty thing, that like transferable porta potty that goes with him everywhere? They should have Foster Plumbing on call as well, just because you don't want that thing breaking down. But either way, they do all kinds of good stuff: gas, water, sewer inspections, all that stuff. It's really, really good. Drain cleaning and all that stuff. Look at that. And Dennis Walsh is always very upset with the picture that they have on there. But here's the other thing. Even if you don't have a problem with the plumbing, this is another one. I'm not sure that I wouldn't break my plumbing just to be able to get that 10% off for mentioning AZ12. It would make me really good. And plus, we'd probably bring you on the show if you actually destroyed your plumbing system just so that you could get the 10% off discount. I would get you a lot of credit. Okay. Now, all right. So now, William Brett Alice was very clear about something here. Very, very clear about something on the previous show. And now that we have people watching, Benwin White, an oracle of truth, a beacon of knowledge in an uncertain era, Brad Alice said that if Arizona gets 8 regular season wins or 9, including the bowl, that you would go on, and from now on, you would call it the MNFL and the MNBA. You did say
that's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said, young man.
No.
That's exactly what you said.
I said I think you asked me if they go to the playoffs, I'll use it for here to eternity. If they win 8, I said I'd use it for the month of February.
Okay. All right. The month of
February. That was the deal.
Yeah, I think that's
fair.
I think you're lying to me.
Yeah.
But yes.
But so if they win 8, yeah, I'll use it for the month of February.
Okay. So if you use it for the month of February,
and I'll whatever Andre Veras, even though now that I know that he's offering food, I should have held out for longer.
Yeah, no, you should have. No, all right,
but I did endorse him. And
but if they do get into the college, if they do somehow slither their way into the college football playoffs,
then I'm unendorsing Andre Veras.
Yeah, you're unendorsing Andre Veras, and you are then endorsing the MNBA and the MNFL.
I don't know if I'm endorsing, but I will use that phrase and terminology from here to eternity.
Benwin White
on your show.
What chance do you actually give them? What chance do you actually give this of all coming true? 8 wins. Do you think that there's a chance that William Brett Alice is going to have to say this for eternity, essentially?
That would be February.
Yeah, just for February.
College football playoffs eternity.
Yeah, let's start counting, right? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. They beat Kansas State. That's 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the path is there. The path is there.
Yeah, I mean, you could still lose 4 Big 12 games and have 8 wins.
Yeah, William Brett Alice, would you? So all right, I'm just putting it there.
No, if they win 8, I will say it for the month of February. If they make the playoffs, I will say it for eternity while on the air. I will not use it in casual conversation.
All right, Sucho. All right, now Ben One White. We probably need to have Ben One White clear something up here. This was, I mean, we talked about all the scurrilous rumors that have been pushed forth by Green Valley, Decker, to Brock. I am going to allow Ben One White one get out of jail free pass on this. Stucho says, Mike, don't forget about where was Ben One White been since the fake phone call from Seattle. Ben, just so people out there know, I got a phone call from the office when I was in, was it Bellevue or Belltown, Seattle? Some place
like that.
Yeah, it was like, it was a bad area. It was a tough area. And they said that, after I said this, that a friend of yours was calling to ask about you and that you needed me to call him back. And they said, and I said, oh, who was it? And they said, his name is Ben. And then I was like, huh, interesting. So Ben denies making this phone call. And so Sheer was with me as well. And Sheer's like, I don't believe you, Mike. I think you're full of crap. So we went downstairs and I asked him, I said, hey, who did you say called asking for me? And they said, yeah, you're a friend named Ben. And so Sheer was like, okay, yeah, I believe you. Now, Ben, what happened here?
I was set up, Brad, although I think it is hilarious. Whoever did it, I was clearly set up. If I did do it, I would happily admit it.
Well, no, because we think that you were worried about us, though.
Nope.
Here's my question. A, why would Ben call the hotel and not your cell phone?
Because he was worried about us because I was
B,
talking about how I might
why
be
would he not then call Shear's cell phone?
Well, right. But
D, why would, or E, C, why would he? I assume he probably has Shelby's number. Wouldn't you worry? Or Mike's better half's number? Wouldn't you call all of those before calling the hotel?
By the way, Clifton, it's a joke. It's definitely not a point we're trying to make. I'm mocking kind of this. Let's say that. I'm not. Yes, I am not. Okay, because we know somebody says it. No, that's all fair. But this is still the thing that I still come back to, though. How did the person at the front desk know about Ben One White calling me? That is the one thing that I can't get past.
My guess is a certain head football coach of a certain football program in smelly, rainy Seattle was trying to keep tabs on you, Mike.
Ooh. Can we blame this on Jed Fish, Ben One White?
Makes sense.
I blame a lot of stuff on Jed Fish.
Yeah, I do too as well. All right. Well, either way, I just thought so. Ben One White, you are now right here in front of everybody. You are denying this.
Yes, I did not make that call.
Would you tell us after all these years or all these months have passed? Would you say right now?
Say what? I'd say the same thing. I didn't make the call. I would tell you if I did.
All right. Yeah. Check with Tyler.
It's not something to be embarrassed about.
Yeah. All right. Well, because I thought it was very sweet. Sheer and I were both talking about how sweet we thought it was that you were calling to check in on us. And I'm like, oh,
no, I think at the time I got a eye roll emoji. It was like, Ben, why did you do this? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then you guys told me. I was like, huh?
If we go back to Belltown or wherever, was it Belltown? Is that where we were?
No, I think that was the hotel name, right? Like the Belltown Inn or something.
Crappy area though. Like the sun didn't come out in the area.
Well, that's the whole city, man.
Well, yeah, but then there was.
That's why the Fish family doesn't want to live there anymore. I couldn't live there.
Yeah, okay. But either way, I thought it was very nice. I'm going to still pretend to myself that Ben One White said this, though, just because it makes me feel better about myself. And it's really kind of what I'm about.
That's all that matters on this show. If you want to think I made the call, it's okay. You can think that. Friendship
has never been stronger because of that. I appreciate that. Okay, also, everybody, Belltown is poo. Yeah, very bad. Okay, yeah. Now, also, everybody get to Little Caesars right now. Code 15 off 20 or LCFREECC. Now, you might have something, William Brett Alice. You have like 20 Rugrats running around the house. You guys need to just eat at Little Caesars from here on out.
I mean, I have 2, but yes.
Yeah, but they're growing though, so it counts for like 10.
One of them that is her absolute favorite.
Yeah, all right. Ben One White.
The son already looks bigger than you, Brad.
He is bigger than Brad.
Oh, yeah, he's got me by 6-7 inches. Yeah.
No, he's a monster. No,
he's not as heavy as me, but that's just because I'm fat.
Well, Brad also locks him in the refrigerator or in the freezer in the grocery checkout aisle, though. I've seen that before.
I'm having trouble getting him to eat enough because he's tired after football. But the other night he's wanted chicken fingers or chicken strips and wanted 2 orders. And I said, I don't really want to spend, like $30 on chicken strips. And I said, so if you can finish them, I'll pay for them. If not, you have to pay me back. Yeah, he finished them. So
Yeah, that's all right. Well,
There you
that's
go.
good. All right.
Where
I
did you
gotta
get
get him
them
to,
from,
I gotta
Brad?
get him to 225 by the end of next season.
All right.
There you
Now,
go.
225.
before we sign off, I got something really good, though. So Ben One White, before the season, I said, Ben, you have like a cult following out here. People want you to join the show with me and William Brad Ellis. And he's like, I don't know really about football. No, next week is Land Acknowledgement Week. But to back the array. But he said, I'm in now. So I'm going to be curious if we can actually get Ben One White consistently on for football, or is it just going to be basketball? What say you, Ben One White?
We'll have to wait and see, Mike. I never make it easy for you. I mean,
that
anybody
called
who
tease?
knows you,
Is that called a tease?
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't make it easy for you.
All right. William, Ben, we very much appreciate you guys. You guys make my job easier because you're better than me. So that allows me to just talk about going up to the School of the Deaf and Blind and ask about coaching the blind. Never mind. I don't want to get into that. So,
Yeah.
anyways, everybody out there, thank Ben One White for everything that he has done for humanity, for civility, everything out there. We very much like Ben One White. And William Brad Ellis, one of the oracles of Tucson. When you think of like the founding settlers of Tucson, Arizona, the people, some of the biggest names that are out here, you think of the Ronstadts, you think of the Bananos, you think of the Alices, you think of, how about that? I thought that was pretty good right there. Oh, Super Snaps. I apologize. Oh, gosh. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I'm an idiot. All right, let's go back here. We're going to go from the beginning here, read all the Super Snaps. I do apologize. Okay, Jodis 21. Did anyone see the KSU score? Cats will beat them. Well, which cats? Because they're both cats. Okay, now, John Taylor, could we please talk about Malachi Bailey? He's very, he definitely stood out during the game. Did you guys notice Malachi Bailey?
Looks better from the first time. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Now, Dennis Walsh is still obsessed with the lay. I love.
He did
Dennis
have it on during the press conference, though, Mike. He put the lay on Brennan.
Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah. Lay off, Brent Brennan. I don't care about the lay, but I guess some other people do. Okay. Does this say more about Arizona or less about Hawaii? I think it says more about Arizona and less about Hawaii because
Agreed.
Arizona's. Yeah. How about that, guys? You agree with me?
Agreed.
Stuccio. Okay, yeah. TJ Van Martyr, is Craig RB1. That performance surprised me. No, I think it's still Risano, but he's clearly somebody that's going to get a lot of carries, though, at least in my opinion. I like Risano a lot still. All right, Heiko, my guy. Put it towards a new sound system in the stadium. I'll donate later. He's literally like one of the smartest people in the world. He could definitely do that, and he's offered. DRF, listen to him. Gringo Billy, football school. Duh. Now, LJ Wombology. Noah can be cleaner, but that rushing TD was sick. Totally agree with that. Totally just take the hoodie off. We don't need your neck being hurt. Okay, yeah. Stuccio. After this, Stanford is horrible. Yeah, Stanford's got a really.
They're like the worst team in Power 4. They have to be at this point.
Stanford and Marana would be a good game, I think, at this stage.
Apparently, Miranda doesn't have a kicker.
Yeah, that was.
And
bad.
that's why they lost last night.
That's what I was reading. Yeah,
I don't mean to disparage the special teams of Marana High School, but
well, I mean,
they didn't kick a field goal from the 5 down 2.
Okay,
wow.
Now H. Fuchs, very, very funny. He says, not loving this new offense, too exciting and fast handoffs. Slow it down, more delayed handoffs. Yes, you want the.
I need some shotguns and then 7-step drops and then a spin move after that.
Yeah, that's all we want. Hunting, Arizona. We want Bama. Damn right, we want Bama. Now, Stuccio, AZ Stadium was almost empty at the end of the game. Not cool. Yeah, it was. OC Bodybuilders. Back to Ben One White. Ben One White. Yeah. Okay, now let's see here. Stuccio, where has Ben One White been since the fake call from Seattle? Well, we'll take Ben's word for it. Let's see. H. Fuchs, the great H. Fuchs. Arizona almost ran out of footballs for the turnover sword.
That is true. They did show it. Yeah.
Yeah. And H. Fuchs, another one right there. Wow. Oh, he sent 2 super snaps. Hell yeah, man, for the same
3,
thing.
4. Wait.
We'll read it again. Yeah. Arizona almost ran out of footballs for the turnover sword. Yeah, that's awesome. James Gandolfini says thank you. Okay. Yeah. You guys are all the best. Very much appreciate you all. Okay. Now we're gonna be back. We'll be back with you on a Monday, though. Yeah, well, Ben One White is a big fan of Sam Olsen. That touchdown that was big. Oh, Ben, look at this. Is there a better way to sign off than this one? Look at all the love Ben One White gets on this show.
All you got to do is pull up the video from when we were in Seattle of you, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, now Connor McGrath. Good show, guys. Thanks, Mike, Ben, and Brad. BTFD. Thanks for keeping the girl and I entertained on the East Coast at 3 a.m. Yes, exactly. Sometimes you know if they show you the paw, you just got to show them the glove, and that's what you did, my friend. Best of luck tonight. Okay. On that note, though, for Brad Alice, for Mr. Ben One White, for Cody James Martin behind the scenes, I am merely Mike Luke. We will be back with you on a Monday, 90-minute show. Woo-hoo. All right, TTFN, we'll talk to you then.